next guest is an Emmy-winning Food Network star and the author of 13 best-selling cookbooks. Her memoir, Be Ready When the Luck Happens, is available now. Please welcome back to the show our friend Ina Garten, everybody. Welcome back. I'm so happy you're here.
Well, this is easier than day drinking, right?
It is, right?
Oh my God.
Have you recovered? It was years
barely.
ago. Barely.
Barely recovered.
I want to. It is Halloween, and over the years, you and your husband Jeffrey have been a popular costume for kids to dress up as.
Isn't that hilarious?
I mean, I'm assuming based on the age, this is the parents' choice, but this is a wonderful Ina Garten. And this is, I mean, you and Jeffrey, what
That's
a delight. That's great.
I particularly like the wig.
Also, that's exactly what Jeffrey would be trying to get away with. What do you, I mean, I guess it's a question you probably get asked a lot. What do you hand out to the kids who trick or treat?
Well, this is the perfect time for store-bought is fine.
Store-bought is fine.
Completely.
And almost because kids, I mean, store-bought's what they want.
Nobody, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody wants like handmade things.
Yeah.
Get chocolates from France.
Yeah.
No, that's not what they're looking for.
Yeah, they want a Zounds. We have an election coming up. What would you recommend, people eat on a night where, results are coming in that either make them happy or not?
Serious comfort food.
Serious comfort food. So what's a good thing to have at your party?
I mean, either like breakfast for dinner, if you like breakfast for dinner, like waffles and bacon and sausage and a lot of maple syrup. Or I was actually thinking red wine braised short ribs with mashed potatoes.
I think there's nothing says about where we are as a country, the idea of like people at 8 o'clock just eating waffles.
Yeah.
While they see which direction their country is going. Will you be making
maybe large cocktails?
Speaking of large cocktails, that's a nice segue. During the pandemic, this was your Cosmo.
That was it.
That almost looks like...
Somebody said that glass was as big as a bird bath.
It does look like a bird bath. That looks like you... I would be surprised if you were like, no, I still haven't finished that. You got to write about your life in this book. This is a memoir. And one of the things you talk about is you worked in the budget office at the White House.
Can you imagine?
You had an actual job as a budget analyst.
I wrote the budget for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. They leave that to 25-year-olds?
That was, so you're 25.
Crazy.
This does not seem like the destination based on the path you were on. But you talk about, you left that job, and you did not have this food, this culinary, affection was not part of your life at that point.
No. I mean, I really taught myself how to cook when I was working in the White House. And I had no idea that's what I was going to do. But I got to the point where I was 30 and I thought, this just isn't me. This isn't any fun. I want to have fun.
Because it sounds fun.
What, writing budgets for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission?
Yeah, when you say you were a budget analyst writing for the
We'll talk later.
Whoa. I wish that was a book. But you bought a store. Yeah. Basically, and again, this was not your path. You just
no experience. Never had an employee. Never worked in a store. Never worked in a restaurant. I'd never been a waiter. I had no idea.
And so what was the store when you bought it?
It was 400 square feet. It was a specialty food store. Just at the beginning when specialty food stores were starting, so nobody even knew what they were. And I just walked into this little store in a town I'd never been in before, West Hampton, and they were making chocolate chip cookies. I mean, who wouldn't want to be there?
Yeah.
Right?
And so you do that.
Yeah.
And then there are really some great stories in this book that you would not expect from Ina Garten, including that you catered a party for the biggest drug dealer on Long Island. How did you come to find out that was who they were?
Well, at some point he said, "Well, come back the next day, and I'll write you a check for the party."
What did they want for the party? Like what sort of food?
He said we want all the caviar, all the smoked salmon, everything. The really expensive things that I could make. And I went to do this party, and I gave everybody their instructions. I went back to close the store, and I came back to the party, and nothing had been eaten. And I thought, oh my God, they hate my food. And my employees, the waiters were like, no, don't worry. They're busy in the bedroom right now. I was like, what? What kind of party is this?
Right. So they were like, we just want looking at salmon.
We want to look at it. We want to look like it's really expensive. And then he said, come back the next day and you can pick up the platters and I'll write you a check for the party. So I went back the next day and he said, I'd like to tip you. And I was like, okay. And he said, come back to the bedroom. I'm like, come back to the bedroom?
Yeah.
But like an idiot, I went with him. And he said, do you want some blow? And I was like, excuse me? Who's tipping who here? I was like, where am I? And then I realized when he was talking about cocaine.
Okay, gotcha.
I was completely confused.
So,
I was a little girl from Washington. I didn't know about this.
So then he takes out cocaine.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know what happened next, but I went back to the store and I sliced my smoked salmon really fast. I don't know how it happened, but.
You also now, I will say there are a lot of stories here where your innocence gets you in a little bit of a job. I should say a little bit of a jam. You take a job at a body shop. Now, when I hear body shop,
I'm gonna have a really bad reputation.
it's all from your book, ma'am. You know this is in stores, right?
I mean, people are reading that? Yeah. So I was looking for a job. I was right out of college, and I go to an employment agency, which is what you used to do, and they have a box with like little cards in it for all the jobs, and they go, I mean, all I could do was be a secretary at that point. And then so I go, they say, oh, here's a secretarial position, $250 a week. I'm like, $250 a week? He said, here's one that's $275. Oh, here's one that's $550. I said, call that one.
Right.
So, you know, like, I'm not stupid, right?
Yeah.
So they pick up the phone, they call, they say it's called the Body Shop. And I think, okay, automotive repair place, like, you know, how bad could that be?
Yeah.
And I go, and it's, you know, it's in a mall. It's like an office in a mall. And I get the job, and they say, okay, the first thing we need to do is show you how to do the payroll. And I'm like, okay, I could learn that. And the first employee was Boom Boom something. And I thought, oh my God, it's not an automotive repair place. It's a strip club.
You are
how does this happen?
just walking through life,
Just
finding yourself in jam after jam.
Exactly.
I was surprised to learn that you were nervous. It makes sense that you would be nervous the first time you have to prepare food on television. Like that. I mean, I get nervous preparing food when no one's watching. But you're still a little bit nervous.
It's, you know, when I started, I mean, it was really, you know, talking to a camera.
Yeah.
I didn't have a guest, like, you know, we couldn't hang out and talk. I was talking to this inanimate object and explaining how to make something. And it was nervous making. And I said to my director, just think, I'll be so much better when I get good at this. And I'm not so nervous. And she said, not necessarily. That nervous energy is really good on film.
I think it's true. And I think,
probably true.
I think one of the reasons people connect with you is they think it is, you can achieve it because, you know, you don't make it too fancy. And the idea is, look, all of us are just trying to make something that's nice to eat.
And it's not about the food. It's about calling somebody and say, come for dinner. And I don't care whether it's a roast chicken or a BLT or something delicious. It's about collecting friends around the table.
Well,
and connecting with
it's a
them.
good lesson. It's a great book.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being back. Ina Garten, everybody. Be ready when the luck happens. It's available now. We'll be right back.